Good evening. Our top story tonight takes us to Perugia, Italy, where in 2007, where British student Meredith Kercher was tragically murdered. Amanda Knox, her friend Matt, discovered the crime scene the next morning and, unable to access Kercher's room, sought help from her boyfriend, Raphael Solicito. Police were eventually called, and Kercher's body was found with severe knife wounds. Knox, Solicito, and another suspect, Rudy Grit, were charged in 2008. As we dive into the key characters involved, it's important to understand their roles in this harrowing story. Meredith Kercher, a 21-year-old British student, was found murdered in her bed in Perugia in 2007. Amanda Knox, an American college student and Meredith's friend, she's a key suspect in the murder investigation. Raphael Solicito, an Italian national and the boyfriend of Amanda Knox, emerged as a key suspect in the case also. Rudy Grit, a 20-year-old Ivorian migrant and no drug dealer, a key suspect in this case.
Now, to comprehend the sequence of events leading up to this tragic incident, let's navigate through the timeline of the case. Let's start with 2nd November 2007. On this day, Meredith Kercher was found dead in her bedroom with her semi-naked body covered by a duvet on the floor and with her throat cut. The room was messy with a blood-soaked white bra on the floor, small blood splashes on the wardrobe door, a light blue shirt with a zipper stained with blood on the floor, shoe prints on the tile floor, shoe print and bloody handprints on the pillow, and also some shoe sole impressions and minor traces of blood discovered on the corridor. Besides, small blood stains on the bath mat and unflushed excrement were found in the bathroom. These are all the important pieces of evidence used in the investigation. After the midnight of 2nd November, the coroner started to examine the cadaver. Two different sizes of knife wounds were noticed on Kercher's neck. The autopsy was performed on the next day, which was on 4th November 2007, and found out that the time of death was around 11:30 p.m. on the night of 1st November. There were bruises found in the genital area, suggesting sex without consent. Amanda Knox and her boyfriend Raphael Solicito and Patrick Lumumba, who was wrongly accused by Amanda Knox, three of them were suspected involved in this crime and they were arrested in the early morning of November 6. On the same day, police found a kitchen knife that they thought could be the murder weapon in Solicito's apartment. On the day of 15 November in the year of 2007, the kitchen knife analysis report showed a result of Kercher's DNA on the blade and Knox's DNA on the handle of the knife. But on the next day, a new suspect was involved as the bloody handprints on the pillow were found to have his DNA on it. Rudy Good was the man. On November 20, Rudy Good, a 20-year-old student, Ivory Coast drifter who is a drug dealer in Perugia, gets apprehended. At the same time, Patrick Lumumba is released from custody. Several pieces of evidence pointed Rudy Good as the main suspect until the date of December 6, 2007, as the vagina swab obtained from Kercher aligns with the DNA from Good, but he claimed that he engaged in consensual sex and did not murder the victim. After several weeks, another piece of evidence, which was the bra clasp of the victim, was found in the room after 46 days from the crime. On January 10, it was disclosed that Solicito's DNA had been identified on the bra clasp. Throughout the year of 2008, the investigation was still ongoing. On October 28, Good was handed a 30-year prison sentence following his choice to undergo a fast-track trial independently of the other defendants. Simultaneously, a judge concludes that there is sufficient evidence to warrant a full trial for Knox and Solicito on murder charges. The trial started on the year of 2009, and on 4th of December, Knox and Solicito were found guilty of the murder of Kercher. Knox received a sentence of 26 years, while Solicito was sentenced to 25 years. They started to appeal, and on the day of 25th of July, court-appointed experts revealed that the knife purportedly used in the attack showed no traces of blood, and there is not only Solicito's DNA found on the bra clasp that the police used as evidence against Solicito. After several times of appeals and trials, finally, on 27th of March 2015, Knox and Solicito were released from their convictions.
Evidence plays a crucial role in crime scene investigation. Below, we will discuss the identification of evidence and the evidential value of each exhibit. The evidence found is majorly categorized into two parts, which are physical evidence and biological evidence. The physical evidence includes the bloody footprint, shoe print, handprint, the broken window, rock, bra, CCTV footage, kitchen knife, and bra clasp. The biological evidence includes the unflushed bowel movement, blood, knife wounds, and sperm stains. Next, we will discuss what is the evidential value of the exhibits. The DNA and fingerprint of Goddard were found in the unflushed bowel movement, the victim's bra, pillow, and also vagina swab from the victim. This evidence directly pointed out the presence of Rudy Goddard at critical locations in the crime scene and linked him to the sexual assault and murder of Meredith Crusher. The bloody shoe prints in the corridor indicate the person left the crime scene after the murder. Meanwhile, the blood stains patterns on the wardrobe indicate the possible pattern of the victim's movement during the murder, contributing to reconstructing the crime scenario. Furthermore, the removal of the sweatshirt from the victim's body suggests a possible sequence of events after the crime. The knife was present as a possible murder weapon, with DNA from both the victims and Knox. This creates a direct link between Knox and the crime scene. The evidential value of the bra clasp is intricate, due to concern about the contamination, changes in context, and the mixture of DNA, as the bra clasp was retrieved 46 days after the initial crime scene survey. Broken window. The fracture pattern of the glass provides insight into the direction of the impact. It helps reconstruct the dynamics involved in breaking the window pane. Bath mat. The bloody water found on the bath mat suggests the engagement in clean-up activities by the perpetrator. Non-visible bird trace. The luminol test was used to analyze non-visible bird trace resulting from the bathroom clean-up activities. Footprint orientation suggests the potential movement and involvement in the crime.
This section will focus on assessing the appropriateness of some of the analysis performed. Let's start with the examination of the unflushed bowel movement exhibit. The analysis was appropriately conducted, showing a profile matching Rudy, significantly narrowed down the potential suspect. Moving on to the broken window fracture pattern analysis. It was appropriately performed. Fragment of the glass inside the house indicate an attempt fake robbery. Now considering the blood pattern analysis on the wall prop, it was appropriately conducted, providing crucial detail on the crime dynamic and offering insight into the high-end location of the fatal stabbing. Next, the analysis of bloody handprint on pillow using fingerprint analysis and the bloody shoe print via shoe print impression analysis was appropriately performed. Matching Rudy fingerprint and shoe print confirmed his involvement, providing important forensic evidence. However, it is important to note that the footprint analysis on the bloody shoe print in the corridor using visual method was not appropriately performed. Visual method may overlook size variation, as seen in the case of solicitor, larger print being initially attributed, leading to inaccurate conclusion. Now turning our attention to the kitchen knife, SDR analysis was used but was inappropriate. While it identified low-level DNA profile matching, Meredith and Amanda, it contradicted the TMB test. The TMB test for blood on knife yield a negative result, contradicting the prosecution theory that it was the murder weapon. The analysis of sperm stain using fluorescent staining method was not appropriately performed, as it lacked DNA information. Moving on to the bra clasp, DNA analysis was conducted but not appropriately performed. The bra clasp was found with a mixture of Meredith and solicitor DNA, and the analysis took place 46 days post-crime, allowing potential contamination. Lastly, the analysis of non-visible bloodstain using luminol test in the hallway exhibit appropriate performed. Following DNA analysis, it provides valuable information on the location and distribution of potential bloodstain.
Our top story tonight revolves around critical mistakes in forensic procedures that could impact criminal investigations. The first mistake involves the use of a low copy number of DNA profile, especially when faced with equipment limitation in the laboratory. It is crucial to exercise caution and consider alternative methods when resources are constrained. Mistake number 2 highlights the contamination of DNA samples. To address this issue, stringent protocols must be implemented to minimize the risk of contamination. Glaring errors, such as those involving the mishandling of a knife and a bra clasp, emphasize the importance of secure exhibit collection. Another crucial mistake is the mishandling of evidence. To rectify this, it is recommended to wrap evidence in a printer paper and place the evidence in a sterile box with a stay-on label. Thank you.